Hello, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well. We are back for Retro Thursday. Gonna play some more Final Fantasy IX. We're getting there. Not exactly sure how far we are from the end, but we are getting there. We're going to do a little bit of leveling. Eiko is still in her 30s. We need to get her up into her 40s, and we'll try to move on. All right. All right, so there's the group we got because Tina, although she's not my favorite character, she has a death ability that kills the dragon pretty quick, and the dragon gives us like 8,000 experience points, so it makes leveling up a little bit quicker. So that's kind of what we're doing. And we do now have an airship. Woohoo! Maybe we'll try to do some exploring too. Ow. When is Kina gonna get turned? My lord, she's slow. That dragon has a bunch turn. Need more hit points. Goodness gracious. Working on all that. Got everything she can get there. My kids are misbehaving in the room next door. Still don't have a diamond. Tracks ore from the target. Can we get some diamond that way? Nope. Strong against lightning. Maybe just strong against all elements. All right, he's back. So, I saw a news video. I have to say, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. I guess that happens a lot when you watch the news here lately. And I'm not exactly sure where. There's a county somewhere that has changed their school policy. On attendance. So, I don't know what is going on with the school boards and the school system. Maybe they're trying really hard to be like our federal government, but they're not really making the best decisions. It makes me really wonder how and why they are even in office. So, this particular county, and I'm assuming probably some other counties will start falling in place. They changed their attendance. So to give you a little understanding of how the attendance policies have changed over time, at least in my experience. So when I was a kid growing up, if you were sick, usually your parents didn't take you to the doctor the same day. They usually gave you a day or two, depending on your symptoms. Obviously, if you were really sick, you would, probably go to the hospital. But, just cold or whatever, you would stay home a couple days. They would write a note, please excuse my child, he was sick. And that'd be the end of it. You wouldn't hear anything more. Okay? So, that's how it was when I was a kid. Okay? If you are going on a family trip, please excuse my child, we are going on a trip. Okay? Hear nothing about it. It was not a big deal. Okay? Now, obviously, if you're missing 20 days of school, now that's a big deal, obviously. You had a certain amount of days you could have, whatever. So now, fast forward, I'm a parent, and my kids are in school. There's no point in the parent sending a note to school unless it's from the doctor. Schools no longer take notes or accept excusal notes or excusals from parents. Parents have been disconnected. They have no power over their children anymore. The only way they'll accept the absence is if you have a doctor's note. So now, your child who just has a little cold and needs a couple days to recuperate, now either has to go to school sick, where they could either get sicker or share it with somebody else. This is how pandemics start. Or you have to go to the doctor and pay the doctor bill, which some people aren't as lucky as others and have to pay like $100, whatever, for that doctor bill. The school will not reimburse that $100. You will not get that $100 back at the end of the year in your tax return. That's $100 that's coming out of your pay that you could possibly use for groceries and gas in your car to go to work and whatnot. That's $100 just to go and get a note, because you know what's wrong with your child. It's not the first time they've been sick. It's not the first time you've been sick. Okay? You give them some medicine, you give them a couple days, and then they're good to go. Okay? But that's not how they want to do it anymore. They want to either force your kid to go to school so they can make everybody else sick, or force you to spend a fortune at the doctor just to get a little piece of paper. It's almost like you want to go to the doctor's office and say, hey, I don't actually want my child to be seen. I know what's wrong with my child. I'm treating my child. My child will be okay in 2-3 days or so. I just need a sticky note saying, please excuse my child. Can you do that for me and not charge me anything? Wouldn't that be nice? But that's not how it's going to work. I think it's wrong. We're the parents. We should have power over our child. Okay? We should have decision making. The school should work with us. That's how it should be. They serve us. Like, technically speaking, your government should serve the people. That's not how it works. The people serve the government. We serve the schools. They are the boss. They are the master. We are the slaves. You got to bow down to them. Unfortunately, that's how it is nowadays. And the new policy, at least in this one county, hopefully it doesn't spread like wildfire, is now not even a doctor note can excuse an absence. Not even a note from a medical professional saying this child's sick and probably should stay home and take some medicine and rest. It doesn't count anymore. It means nothing. So there's really no point in sending sending to school any kind of letter or note or whatnot. And so the video I saw, they were discussing it in their board. Said this one guy, and I probably could have just smacked the hell out of him, to be honest with you, said that if you work a job and you're sick, you have to go to work. So why should the kids not have to go to school? That's what this guy said. So, listening to him, I have a couple thoughts. One, I guess he's jealous. He's angry that, he has to go to work when he's sick and the kids don't, and so he's trying to get revenge. Or two, he's a Republican, and a lot of Republicans believe that your job is number one in your life and that you should work yourself to death. I'll be honest with you. If I'm sick, I'm probably not going to work. And a lot of people feel the same way. So why should my child have to go to school? I really don't know what he's talking about, how you have to go to work if you're sick. Maybe he thought that. You don't. Okay? They want to fire you. They can fire you, sure. But technically, they can fire you for whatever reason they want. Okay? Because it's a privilege to have a job. Technically speaking, they could be racist and fire you because of your race. And they can get away with it because they just don't have to tell anybody that's why they fired you. Okay? So as long as they don't explain why, they can get away with firing you for whatever reason. So, but, the thing is, especially nowadays, people are getting tired of that bullshit. Good luck trying to find somebody who is going to deal with your bullshit. Yeah. Well, the issue you have, some jobs are better than others. For example, my wife has a 4-year degree, and she works a relatively decent job. Even other jobs in the past have been relatively decent. Yes, you work full time, you get vacation time, you get sick leave, whatever abbreviations they want to use. However, there are some jobs that don't have that benefit. Like, for example, me. I have worked in the security field for over 18 years. I'm not currently working in the field, thank God, but I don't know how things go. I might end up back in that direction. But if you're part-time, you ain't getting no benefits. You're not going to get sick leave, you're not going to get vacation, you're not going to get nothing. You're part-time. You don't, in security, you don't even get a lunch break, just to let you know. If you're full-time, in my job, or in my previous job as security, you still didn't get sick leave. Okay, you might get vacation time, but you didn't get sick leave. You didn't get PTO days. Okay, usually they gave you a week of vacation. And that might vary depending on the company you work for, which I still kind of question how legal all this is. But, there's loopholes and cracks. So, I work for a company. I work for 2 companies that are in reference to this. First company said, hey, when you become full-time for a year, you get vacation time. Okay. So, I was full-time for a year, and I decided I want to take a week of vacation. They told me I needed to pull out all my pay stubs to prove that I had been full-time for a year. I'm kind of like, not in your system? Really? So I did that. Got a week paid vacation. Alright, so I took a week off. I got paid like I was there, even though I wasn't there. time went on. And apparently they changed their policy. They didn't notify me of this. I want to take a week of vacation. Okay. Way it works is you take your week off. You don't get paid. We give you a check for 40 hours at the end of the year. That's how they do it. And then another company I worked for, they did the same thing. You didn't get vacation time, you got vacation pay at the end of the year. The whole point of getting vacation pay when you take the time off is so that you can use that money to pay the bills in that month. Getting paid an extra 40 hours at the end of the year doesn't help you pay your bills. And then my other security job was part-time, so I didn't get any benefits at all. True, but you also don't go to work if you're sick. You just don't get paid for it. So the other issue you have is the attitude of bosses. So the part-time security job I worked at, which was more recently, we had some bosses, supervisors, which I guess they sort of retired and left not long before I did. Anyways, they were previous law enforcement. They worked with sheriff departments and whatnot, and they thought they were kind of hot shit. They had pretty big egos. They didn't like you taking time off. They thought if you were sick, you should still have to come into work. So rewind. My wife and I got food poisoning. We were bad. And I'm trying to explain to him on the phone, I'm not coming into work next day. And he told me that I was, or else. I asked him, I said, what do you want me to do? Work 12 hours sitting in the bathroom all day? He said, yes. He said that his priority was the Department of Public Safety. In other words, he doesn't give a shit about his employees. He just gives a shit about him looking good. What he doesn't realize is that the officers are the department. Without the officers, there is no department. Technically speaking, you can have a job without an employer, but you can't have a job without employees. Okay? So you got a company, the company can be run by the employees, but a company can't be run without employees. Okay? McDonald's. Alright, you got a manager. Okay? He manages. But if you remove the manager, if the employees all come in and do their job, you can still run that restaurant. Remember that. Employers need employees more than employees really need employers. Not to mention, there's something called self-employment. And there's a lot of those gigs now. Streaming. Give me a second. Boy, kids can be a handful. She's almost 2 years old, so I guess she's heading for that terrible 2. Screaming at the top of her voice for no reason at all, just because she can. And it hurts your ears, goodness. Probably going to take her downstairs here in a minute. But yeah, technically speaking, the only thing that a boss does is sign your paycheck. That's basically it. Well, I mean, I can't say every boss. Some bosses are great, don't get me wrong. But in general, all they do is sign your paycheck. You do all the work. That's why they hired you, so they didn't have to. So, I think sometimes bosses got to be reminded that they're not that hot. shit. They need to, their little ego needs to be busted a little bit. Especially if they're the type of boss that likes to crack the whip and give orders and demands and whatnot. Best way to deal with those kind of bosses, people, is just to get all your fellow employees and walk out and leave them behind to do the job themselves. He'll either call you back and want to make a deal, or he'll go out of business and he'll be unemployed. And remember, go get another job. Especially in fast food. If you're working fast food, for an example, they're hiring. So if your boss is not being respectful and whatnot, go to the next restaurant. Eventually they'll learn. But you know, the problem you have with the schools is the government. So you know, you go to work, you're sick, and you're out for a few days, and the boss says you're fired because you didn't come into work. I don't care if you're sick or not. You move on to another job. Right? Maybe you'll be lucky and find a better boss. Maybe you can get paid more. That don't work with schools. Okay? If your child is sick, misses a certain number of days, they then notify the courts, DPS, and stuff like that, and now you have a legal issue. Not that you get kicked out of school and have to go to another school. So your options are court battle, homeschool, private school, or doing some kind of online variant. Homeschool, there's more flexible as far as attendance goes. I mean, you still got to do a certain amount of work and whatnot. Whereas I think online public school, you still have a schedule that you have to be there for or whatever. But yeah, it's the more legal matter. So he wants to talk about you have to go to work. He wants to combine work compare work and school. You're court mandated. You have to go to school. There's no option till you turn a certain age and then you can drop out or whatever. But you can't compare school to working. Although in some cases that's really what schools are doing for you or doing to your kids, is they are brainwashing or programming your child to be an obedient worker. Just watch George Carlin. He's funny, but he speaks the truth. It should be about education. And that should be the only thing that school is about, is educating our children. That should be the priority. Nobody's ego. Shouldn't be money, which is a factor. Shouldn't be controlling kids and parents and getting them ready to be servants for their boss. It should be about making our kids smart and making their lives better. That's how it should be. But unfortunately, it's getting further and further from that direction. Now they want your kids to work and go to school, including a third shift job. They want your child to go to work, get off work, go to school, then come home, try to balance sleeping and homework and studying and all that. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of like, I'm hearing all this, I'm reading all this, I'm like, how do we stop it? How do we change directions and go where we should when all our leadership is leading us in the wrong direction and making everybody's life hell? You know, you have elections, you listen to what your candidate has to say, or what the candidates have to say, and they say what they're supposed to be fighting for and speaking for and what they plan on doing for us when they're elected. And then we vote and decide who we think is the best candidate for the job based on what they've said. But what do you do when the candidates are lying? What do you do when the candidates do the opposite of what they say? What do you do when the candidates get elected and they're doing a bad job? You know, that's something that kind of bugs me a little bit, is we vote them in, which means we're sort of like their boss. The win of candidates not lied, exactly. So you apply for a job, you have an interview, and you tell them about your background and blah blah, why you want the job. They hire you. Okay. If you don't do a good job or don't do your job at all, what do? They fire you, right? But it doesn't work that way in government. Okay, so when officials are being elected, they do their rallies and blah blah whatever. That's like an interview process. Okay, and then the election is us hiring them. Okay, so whoever gets the most votes gets the position. They got the job. They've been hired. Problem is, can't fire them. Once we put them in that position, the only ones that can fire them are them. We can't say, hey, we're not happy with your performance. Let's get together and have another election and vote whether or not to keep you in your position. We don't have that power. Other politicians have to do the whole, what's the word? I think it starts with a P. Whatever, firing process. Okay? Well, if they're all buddies, do you think they're going to fire each other? No. Just like, technically speaking, if they want to raise, that should be impeachment. Yes, thank you. They impeach each other. We don't impeach anybody. We don't have that power. Just like when it comes to raises. Okay, so you've worked your job for a period of time. They might even do an evaluation. I'm in office. Hey, this is the good stuff you've been doing. This is what you need to work on, and we're going to give you this % raise or whatever. And depending on your job, sometimes you might get a good raise, sometimes maybe not so great, but you get a raise. You don't decide your raise. They decide it based on your work performance. But our politicians who are in office, who decides their raises? They do. We don't. They choose their pay. And what I've noticed over here recently is there's certain things that the people have needed, and these politicians said, well, instead of us putting money to take care of you and your needs, we're instead going to take that money and give ourselves raises. What? Really? Why can't we do that in our jobs? Oh, I know I've been working at McDonald's for about 3 years. I want a $20 raise. And I can give it to myself. And I get paid $20 extra. It doesn't work that way, but it works that way for certain individuals. It shouldn't be that way. We need to fix our government. And we need to maybe add things to the Constitution that are either not in there or not clear enough in there. Not that our governments are enforcing the Constitution or protecting it anyways. But we need to stand up as a people again. I think we've gotten complacent with not having to deal with corrupt conflicts and whatnot. We're used to somebody else dealing with it for us. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Election is not the answer, obviously, because it's not working. It's still got the problem. As much as I hate to say it, the only thing I can think of is war. We're going to need another civil war. People are going to have to give our government officials an ultimatum. They either step down, and we have people who are actually going to do the job, which there's no guarantee of that. This is what I've been saying. Or we go to war, and we go through that whole process and repeat history all over again. Because the problem is, what is the point of talking if they're not listening? If they don't care? You know, you have the right to petition. Okay, so petition is you have a piece of paper, you sign a bunch of names. Okay, that's your freedom to have a petition. Okay, so you get millions of names on pieces of paper. Okay, this is sticky notes, but it's what I have close. Okay, so you got millions of names saying we want this, we don't want this. Okay, and you hand it to your politician. The politician goes, and throws it in the trash. He's not going to read that. He sure as hell ain't going to pay people to read it. He's going to do what he wants. He doesn't care about what anybody else wants. Your petition goes in the trash. It's a waste of time and energy. Protesting. Okay. Protesting. We get in a group. We have our signs, and we say, this is what we want. This is what we don't want. You suck, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Well, there's been a lot of things added, stipulations and whatnot. You now have to get a permit to protest. So a right to protest is not really a right to protest if you have to go get a permit to protest. Okay? It's now a privilege. Okay? When they added the whole, you have to get a permit. There's certain laws and stipulations that you have to follow. People get arrested at protests all the time for doing their constitutional right to protest. They go to jail, get arrested for following the Constitution. Because they put stipulations in there to shut you up. Okay? Now, honestly, I don't think you should be stupid and protest in the middle of a highway or a road and block traffic. That's just stupid. You're asking to get run over. Okay? You shouldn't do that. If you want to stand on the side of the road and protest, that's fine. That's not hurting anybody. You're not getting in the way of daily activities or whatnot. You're there and you can be hurt. I agree with that. Yeah. You know, you should not stand in the middle of the road. You're going to get run over. Okay? They can legally regulate as long as they don't restrict who can get a permit or make it cost anything. So there's certain stipulations that you have to abide by. Once again, protesting, similar to petitioning, if nobody listens and nobody pays attention, it's worthless. Okay? What makes protesting better than petitioning is it's not a piece of paper that somebody can throw away. You know, if you stand outside the workplace, they're going to see you in and out. Okay? You're an eyesore. Okay? So you're a little bit more than just a piece of paper they can throw in the trash. So it's a little better. But the problem is, you know, if they're stubborn, they just ignore you. Okay? That's the other issue. So what else do you do? Well, looting is not an option. That's a crime. Okay? Should not be associated with protesting whatsoever. So petitioning and protesting don't work. So what do we do after that? Well, you know what the athletes do when they want to raise and they don't get it? They go on strike. And then they get their raise because the companies that own these teams and athletes, they make millions and billions. But if the athletes aren't playing, they get nothing. They go out of business. And the athletes know that they're the reason why these companies have money. And so they go on strike. And then they get their raise. Maybe that's what we should do as an American people, is we should all go on strike. Say, we're not going to do nothing till our demands are met. Stop going to work, stop paying taxes, stop paying bills, stop everything. Problem is, if you are segregated, separate, they're going to squish you like a grape. Okay? I'm sure you've heard the thought of a bundle of sticks, right? One stick breaks real easy. A bunch of sticks together, a lot harder to break. So you have to be able to unite and stick together and watch each other's back. Problem is, when you're separate, they arrest you, they deport you, they do whatever. It's easy to eliminate one person at a time. If everybody's in a group, everybody is the United States, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. But I don't know if I don't know honestly what to say. I'm just frustrated about the things going on. Speaking of bundle of sticks, they say we can't use the proper term anymore because some people are offended by the term. Yes. Yes. Just to let you know that term is also a cigarette in England. If you go to England, that's what they call cigarettes. But anyways, people are easily offended by certain words, I will be honest. And it does get kind of silly after a while. It's like I don't know what to say anymore because every word it turns into being offensive. I don't know. Hopefully, somebody will come up with a plan and fix things. Not looking good. Honestly, I miss being a kid. I miss the times back in the 80s and 90s. You know, it wasn't perfect. There was issues back then too, but it hadn't escalated like it is now. It was a lot simpler. And being a kid, you didn't have the responsibilities and obligations you do as an adult, so it doesn't affect you the same. You know, your main priority as a kid is to play, to have fun, to be a kid. Your only responsibility is really going to school, which your parents take most of that responsibility. So I miss those times of not really having to worry. But all right, I know I've talked a lot about things that aren't game related, but I saw it and it kind of bothered me, and I just wanted to kind of vent a little bit, get it out. Who knows? Maybe you have similar, stresses, and maybe you can have a little bit of peace knowing that you're not the only one being stressed out by it. There are more of us out there. I don't know. I think maybe we need to start uniting and getting together and putting our heads together to try to find a solution. But anyways, I need to take a quick break. I have to go deal with my children real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue playing Final Fantasy. All right. Let's fight some more dragons. Let's see. She's at level what? 35. She's got 5 more to go. Will it be the cat or the dragon? It's the dragon. Alright, so she's at level 36. And it's a cat. I don't have a diamond. Missed me. Here, dragon, dragon, dragon. And I'm on the beach, so we have to fight the whale. And I can't use death on him because he's already dead. But I can use holy. I wonder if life works on him. Find out. Oh, he wasn't too tough. I would have thought holy would have hit him harder than that, though. Alright, try to stay away from the beach. There he is. Apparently Kina was a zombie, and I didn't know it. Well, shit, I can't revive her. Down. Okay. All right, we got him without using death. Kind of close there, but we got him. All right, maybe if we would use magic tag, and then we have to use Phoenix down. Wow. Assuming he's pretty much got everything. I want that magic evasion to go down. I think it's time for us to sleep in a tent. Alright, so she's at 37. Three more levels to go. Could you imagine? Final boss. You use one technique. And it kills him. That would be kind of a ridiculous final fight, wouldn't it? She needs to get Kiraga. I haven't found anything to give it to her yet. And she's at level 40. All right. All right. Okay, who should we have in the party? Oh, I guess we'll do them. I want to do auto life, but I'm down by 1. Hopefully you won't get confused. I guess that'll be it for now. I think I saw something you can get Hades. Will give you a summon if you have 2 pumice pieces. I only have 1. I wonder where the other one is. Level up on him. There's everything but Comet. Almost down there. One more for that. Oh. Then I'm not exactly sure where you talked to Hades at, because it looked like it was in the water. Chocobo. I can get used to flying here. That wasn't the right button. here? Got a hidden cave. Maybe we should save it. Alright, let's see what's in this cave that has a bridge. Question mark. However you say that, the Garrow? Can't go. It was built by some strange scientists. To get around this place, you'll have to use the lifts, which are powered by water pressure. The Dane, my goodness, how wonderful to see you again. Hey, what are you doing here? After Cleyra was destroyed, I realized how isolated we have all been. So I decided to broaden my horizons and came here. Wonderful here. I am constantly learning something new from these books. Someday I hope to contribute to the restoration of Cleyra. What's this bar doing here? Select the lever you wish to lower. I can talk to him. Quiet! Can't you see I'm doing research here? Alright, let's see here. Puzzle. Puzzles. Don't we love our puzzles? Alright, we're gonna cancel for now. This is getting annoying. See? Oh. go upstairs with this? Guess not. I think you can. I think there's a way to get up there if you do it right. I have it. Alright, so he goes, what is this hole? Then you have this stick. Yeah. I still don't think that's have a look. There it is, look at that. Weaponsmith. I need the synthesis shop is what I need. high tide. Can't find the Eidolon and I've looked everywhere. Good book lasts forever. It will always be there in your memory. I've asked to be buried with my favorite book. This is the reading room. In addition to tables and chairs, we also have hammocks for people who fall asleep while they are reading. If you'd like to stay here for 100 gil, sounds like something just happened below. Gosh, you always miss the point. Why are you so... Oh, hello. What can I do for you? We're having a debate right now about the importance of having nations. I'm telling you, we don't need nations in this world. They're just politicians. No, nobody can live on his own. As social beings, we need to be organized under a single nation. What do you think? In a world where everybody could get along and be fair, sure, we wouldn't need nations. However, that doesn't exist. Came here to research a new source of power. Some of the systems here are rather complicated. The source of all this water is a mystery as well. Maybe it really is the work of the dragon god. Geez, there's all kind of books here. Oh, there's the Eidolon and I tell him where his book is. I saw that book over there. Oh, really? Thank you. I enjoy my life here, being surrounded by all these books, but sometimes it takes forever to find the book I want to read. Found it and got no reward. Theories of the underground world often refer to the fact that Gaia has two moons. Some studies suggest that the orbital axes of the two moons are shifting. Where knowledge and water come together. There's our next one. Latest in a Zoran shape. currently using the mithril fork. Oh, a thief's glove. The gladius and thorn shape. I think they have the mithril armor. But I also don't have the money for it. And I hit the wrong button. I can't believe I did that. I don't think I got anything else. Made one of those. Made that for her. Came here hoping to find some treasure, huh? I can tell you from your eyes. I'm a treasure hunter myself, and a famous one, too. Just because I'm famous doesn't mean I'm going to tell you my name. Almost all treasure hunters are assigned ranks. I, of course, have attained the highest rank. Let's see, your treasure hunter rank is... rank H. Don't ever talk to me again, loser. Ouch. Oh, I don't think it's... I think it's, A key item that I don't know if it does anything at all, honestly. Really need potions anymore, I don't believe. Got high potions. One of those. What else did we need? Got some of those in stock. Alright, we might be doing some money making so we can get some stronger gear here. Alright, so in order to get this, I need the weapon, which I already have one of. That's a lot of money here. Okay, so now can do that, I just need 50,000. And I need 8,000. The black robe, another white robe. An old legend in this region about a dragon god and his divine protection. It may be true. Hey, look at this place. We're surrounded by mountains in the middle of nowhere, and the water here never runs out. It has to be the work of the dragon god. That's dragon god's blessing to the stone. So I'm supposed to put a stone here? Stone, maybe some more might work? Them out. I got 66. They transform. Aquamarine. Do I really need that many? Leviathan. Hey, we can sell them. The only one that can use it is her, and she's already learned it. Didn't give me much money though, did it? Can't use the boat. Tries again. Alright, I think we've been there. That's where we got to go. So we've been there. I wonder what's there. All there's a forest. It won't let me land. Wonder why they won't let me land. In there. A volcano? Volcano! We're in a volcano! Kind of funny how everything around it's frozen. the desert where we got caught. That looks suspicious. Airship. What have I just found? Nothing I can do anything with at the moment. I think they berserked him. That weapon is ugly. Fighting with skulls. Well, evidently we're probably not supposed to be here yet. I hit the wrong thing. Boy, don't get mad at me. Don't call me again. Tree-quiet plains? Wonder if there's a reason why that's dark. Little spot. We'll walk on it, see what happens. What is this dark spot? Will we ever get to it? That is the question. Firaga. Nothing. Just a dark spot. Makes me think there should be something there, you know? I was almost finished with Ilia's clothes. Maybe Grandma would have finished Ilia's new dress if I didn't demand food all the time. Who cares if I don't have new clothes, as long as my family is still alive? Our shower is broken. I feel so yucky. That's bad luck. I just moved here from Lindblum. This is awful. Can't believe the city got destroyed right before our honeymoon. I can hammer nails with my frying pan. You idiot, and you call yourself a chef. Treat the tools of your trade with more respect. The city needs to be rebuilt. We all have our place in life, buddy. Yours is to cook delicious food for the people of this city. I know that we can rebuild the city if we work together. I wonder if Princess Garnet will return to Alexandria. Well, why don't you ask her? Right there. I stocked up the shop the best I could. Time for the Reconstruction Committee meeting. We will decide what to put on the reconstruction petition. Majority vote will determine the policy to be submitted. Who built the bar, roads, playground? Boy, we're full of ideas, aren't we? Let us take a vote tomorrow. Why nothing gets done. He's growing up to be such a great boy. Boy, isn't he lucky that most of his inn survived. Pretty sure I heard a variation of this song in Final Fantasy VII. I don't mind having a lot to do, but too much work is also problematic. That's true. Can be. The Alexandria Castle sword was the symbol of the city, but now... I don't need your work. The bar is safe. So why do we need a bar? I do declare that Lowell's too big for his britches. What in tarnation are we supposed to do? What is this tiny theater? This place is unworthy of my talents. We need more actors to stage a show. I can't sleep at night. The attack was so terrifying. He's handsome, but he's not exactly my personality. To have the chance to meet a pretty flower like you in a destroyed city, oh, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Water is quite dirty right now. I can't even see the fish swimming in there. Feeding the fish was my favorite pastime. The city was completely destroyed by the time I came back. They must have known I was away. Someone tell me how to keep track of my kitty kittens. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, that's all the time I got for today. Thank y'all for coming and watching. Hey, if you enjoyed it and you haven't already, make sure you follow the channel. Over on YouTube, don't forget to give us the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. I will be back on Monday. We'll be playing some more Oblivion. Make sure you stop on by and have a great weekend.